Good morning and welcome to your Saturday morning, early morning intuitive guidance. How did it get to be Saturday? Holy buckets. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum. We're bringing you just the coolest card today. I think it's going to be something that really stirs some deeper thought, hopefully stirs some deeper thought. And interestingly, it dovetails beautifully with some thought processes that have been popping up in my head the last couple of days. Good morning, Peggy. Glad you are here. Welcome, welcome. Someone else has popped on, maybe Cindy, we'll see. But glad you're here because I like doing this journey with all of you. It takes us places we probably wouldn't go if we weren't getting together every morning like this. So, good morning, Lucy. Welcome, welcome. It looks like someone else has popped into there. Cindy, good morning. Cindy sent me a text message this morning, said, I feel like I've been hit by a truck. And I'm like, yep, kind of. Good morning, Susan. Glad you're here. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Today is going to be an amazing day. Good morning, Carolyn. Glad you are here. Thank you for the hearts. We are learning such amazing stuff in this Tony Robbins thing. Cindy and I are both doing this, and mind-blowing stuff. Mind-blowing stuff. Yes, good morning. So it is a good morning. It is absolutely a good morning. Darn cold here. I don't know what it was without the wind chill, but I think we're at 11 degrees, and TJ was not excited about it. He's not a very furry dog, so yeah, he's ill-equipped for this kind of weather. And a coat, forget it. Ain't happening. So we zoom out, we do our business, we zoom back in, and now he's in his bed behind me, just kind of hanging out. This deck is, good morning, Mel, glad you are here, welcome. It's 60 degrees, how lovely, how lovely. We'll get there eventually, probably June. But this card, what I'm discerning about this new deck, it's the Wild Harmonic deck. What I'm discerning about this new deck is it speaks in very esoteric terms. And so one of the hits that I got this morning was that it's my job, yes, stay warm, holy buckets. It's my job to take this esoteric reading and bring it down to earth, land it somewhere for us to pick up pieces of it and run with it in our lives. And so I'm just going to lay the groundwork a little bit for the card, and then we'll go from there. But yesterday's biggest message to me from the Unleash Your Power thing, good morning, Renee, glad you're here, is that idea of when are we kind of letting ourselves off the hook, letting ourselves be mediocre, letting ourselves be comfortable. And we've talked about this before, the terror barrier that sits between our comfort zone and all we could be, to steal from the Marines a little bit. There's that terror barrier in the middle. Good morning, love the sunglasses. That most of us are loath to transmit ourselves across. Good morning, Gwen, glad you're here. We stand at the edge, look down into the hole and go, oh, hell no, I ain't going there. We can see all this good stuff on the other side, whether it's health, whether it's abundance, finances, a partner, a great career, etc., travel, whatever it is. But we see the discomfort that's going to come before we get there, and we're kind of like, meh. Good morning, Lane, glad you are here. So today I want us to discern, to dive a little deeper into this. And the card mirrors some of this for us, as always, which I think is exactly how this gig goes. Good morning, Mary. Welcome, welcome. So I want you to think deeply today. Think and feel deeply. And I feel like another piece that's going to be coming up a lot is this melding of seeming opposites. So the one I was working on for myself yesterday was the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Much of the Tony Robbins stuff is wired in the divine masculine. There's a huge amount of divine feminine also. Thank you for the coffee. But much of it is wired in the divine masculine. And I trafficked in that world for many years, running businesses, etc., etc. Spent the last several years really developing my divine feminine, the soft part, the receptive part, the open part, the receiving. Now they need to marry more. They need to marry more. Good morning, Maureen. Glad you are here. So, as my friend Kayleen and I talk about, we're moving away from the either or and into the and. And so I really want to take a bunch of these things that I'm revisiting, because I've done Tony Robbins stuff since the 80s. But I'm revisiting it, and it has a vital new energy, and I'm in a whole different place now than I was in the 1980s, for sure. So I'd like us to just open ourselves. Close your eyes, as long as you're not driving. Take some nice deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And just keep breathing and just imagine yourself opening. Good morning, Gail. Glad you were here. Hope you like this card. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So, Wild Harmonic deck, do you just keep breathing? You're opening yourself to receiving whatever part of this message is meant for you. Go ahead and open your eyes and take a peek at the card. It's the Celestial of Dimensional Original Wakefulness. Original wakefulness. And I know woke is sort of one of those terms now that's getting flung around. But original wakefulness. So let's see what it has to tell us. Just keep breathing. Be receptive. What about this fits for me? What about this do I not want to have fit for me? Original wakefulness. As the celestial realms ascend into the dimensional expanse, the essential nature of consciousness recognizes itself. So basically what that's saying is kind of like when we step into our curious observer, we're watching ourselves, we're observing ourselves, we're learning from that other perspective, right? When we're in the middle of the muck and mire and reacting all over the place, that's one perspective. To step out into our my sister just dropped in a message. This is BS. I'm done being cold. I'll talk to her later. Anywho, when we step into our curious observer perspective and look at us, look back at ourselves reacting, we get a whole different perspective. And it can really help us move from reactive to proactive to receptive to all kinds of stuff. Yeah. But it's basically saying that we are up leveling into this place where our consciousness, our awareness recognizes itself. So let's learn some more. Meditation. Awareness, attention, honesty. That one's a huge one right now for me. Am I being honest with myself? What am I pretending not to know? That famous question I love to ask. What am I pretending not to know? Knowing myself and unfettering myself from the confusion of the appearance of experience. So we provide the story. We decide what things mean. And oftentimes, because of how we've been trained, because of our zeitgeist in the U.S. right now, because of all kinds of things, we have on the shit-colored lenses. And we look out through those shit-colored lenses and everything looks shitty. All right? So right now we're going to be clearing the lenses. We're going to look out through much clearer lenses. Are we always perfect? No, we're human beings. So we're always going to have some stuff. But when we take our story, good morning, Jennifer, glad you are here. And if I haven't missed anybody, hello, because you guys are rolling past and I'm thinking and whatever. When we have our story, this is what I'm going to make this particular experience mean. Okay? Oh yes, the shit color glasses. I decide what the story means. So I'm going to go back to my classic example. I'm walking down the hall and Barry goes walking past me and I say, "Hi, Barry," and Barry just keeps walking. I can say, that damn Barry, he didn't say hi to me. What a jerk. And I'm mad. I can say, wow, Barry was really wound up in his own thoughts. I wonder what's going on. Is he okay? And I'm concerned. I can say, oh well, he didn't respond, and I just keep going, and I'm happy. I decide, I give that story, that event, meaning. I decide what it means. And what I decide makes a difference in how I feel, what I think, my actions thereafter. So I really want us to become much more aware of what story am I telling myself? What am I making this mean? Especially with regard to family, because we have generational stories that we schlep along in an obligatory way that really don't serve us and they don't serve our family. So I'll give you one that my mom said at one point, and I rejected it right off the bat. But she said, I think I don't know if I had a cold or what, I was sick. She said, we're not very good stock. And I'm like, fuck that. I'm healthy. I'm happy. I'm good. Right now I have this cold. This cold is not me. This cold isn't who I am. It's just a cold. And I can pay attention to this cold. What am I meant to learn from this? Is this I'm not taking great care of myself? Is this I'm not washing my hands enough? It could be simple stuff, but it could also be deeper stuff. What is this about? Good morning, Pat. You're going to love this card. It is quite something. So I'll show those of you who just pop back on the picture of it. It's the Celestial of Dimensional. It's from the Wild Harmonic deck, and it's about original wakefulness. Original wakefulness. Are we paying attention? What are we pretending not to know? So I'm going to go back and read this part again. Awareness, attention, honesty, knowing myself, and unfettering myself from the confusion of the appearance of experience. That appearance is the story we're telling ourselves. If you don't like how you feel, change your story. Change your story, because we're making it all up anyway. So if we're making it up, why not pick a story that allows us to feel good, right? Or allows us to move forward, allows us to make the changes we need to make. Like one of the stories I caught myself saying yesterday in the middle of the Tony Robbins thing was, I'm getting too old for this. I'm too old to make all these changes. Good morning, Lisa. Welcome. Glad you're here. That is BS. That is absolutely BS. There's no such thing as too old. All right? I will have a beautiful day. You have a beautiful day also, dear. So let's keep going here. This card reminds me that where attention goes, energy flows. We heard that yesterday. Tony Robbins was talking about that. Where our attention goes, energy flows. So if we're paying attention to ain't this terrible, horrible, awful, our energy is going to go to ain't this terrible, horrible, awful. We're bringing in more terrible, horrible, awful, paying attention to that. Is that really what we want to energize with our attention? No, no. So start looking around. Start finding some of the other things you could look at. Okay, so if there's some crap going on over here, how many of you have realized that when you don't attend to something, it tends to resolve itself? If we pour our energy into it, we keep it stuck in a way. We keep it stuck. If it's like, okay, that's over there, it'll take care of itself. I'm focusing over here on the good stuff. I'm paying attention to where do I want to go? What do I want to accomplish? Who am I? What do I love about myself right here in this moment? Practice some gratitude. If you practice the gratitude, it's going to move you out of and away from whatever the shit color lenses are seeing. All right? And will help clear those lenses somewhat. All right? And this isn't the same thing as, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? It's choosing. It's a conscious choice. I choose to pay attention to what feels good in my life. I choose to energize that. I choose to pay attention, move in that direction. Now, does that mean you let Rome burn? No. But again, yes, like Gwen's saying, the glass is half full, not half empty. And if I want that glass to be full, I have the power to create that. I have the power to create that. All right? This card reminds me that where attention goes, energy flows. Thus, I choose that to which I attend wisely. Be careful where you put your attention. Where do you want to put your attention? He was talking about, one of the guys who was presenting was talking about driving through the desert, and there's nothing out there, and there's telephone poles, and they're a certain amount of distance apart, and how many car accidents there are where people hit the poles. He's like, how the hell do they hit the poles? There's nothing out here. They're focusing on the poles. Man, I don't want to hit the pole. I don't want to hit the pole. I don't want to. He says, focus on the gaps between the poles. If you lose control of your car, focus on the gaps. That's where you'll go then. First of all, why are they all losing control of their cars? Anyway, yes, that was wild. What do we pay attention to? If what we're saying is, oh man, I don't want my spouse to leave me. I'd hate to have my spouse have an affair. What if it's happening? Oh my God. You're setting up the energy for it. Stop doing that to yourself. Stop doing that to the people around you. You know, when Cindy's daughter left to head across to move in with her sister, we needed to focus on the good stuff. It'll be a safe trip. There'll be beautiful things for her to see. This is building her independence muscle, all this good stuff, instead of, oh my God, what if she ends up dead in a ditch? Not helpful. Not helpful. And as a mama, do we tend to go there? Yes. But we can pull ourselves away from that. Wait a minute. That's the wrong lenses. That is not how I want to view this thing. I'm changing my story. Right? And I like this part too. Beneath, between, and behind it all is this to which I cannot reach. Isn't that interesting language? This to which I cannot reach. For it is what I am. We're already there. We're already there. It's not outside of us. It's within us. All is uncertain except this which I cannot know, only be. So again, get out of your head into your heart. Get out of your head and into your heart. When you live your life from your heart space, it will be a much richer, more dimensional life than when you live just from your head space. Well, I ought to take this job, and I ought to marry this person, and I ought to have my 2.5 kids and my Stepford existence. No. Live in your energy. Live in your heart. What do I want? What do I really want? And there was some asking of that yesterday in various places. What does someone really want? Yes, Eeyore. Oh, I think it's going to rain. But then there's Tigger bouncing around. Their experiences of life are very different. They're living in the same 100-acre wood, aren't they? But their experiences of that 100-acre wood are very different because of the lenses. All right? To be simply aware is to be as pure as a newborn. To be simply aware is to be as pure as a newborn. To be aware of awareness is to love oneself and all that arises. Again, our curious observer. What am I noticing? What am I seeing? What am I seeing myself do? What am I seeing myself? How am I seeing myself react? What about this do I want to keep? What about this do I want to change? All right? So here's the inquiry. Here's our question. Am I honoring myself, living true to myself, and giving my values the attention they deserve? Am I honoring myself, living true to myself, and giving my values the attention they deserve? How many of us, when we hear that question, go, ugh? I know for myself, that's one of the things that I am now taking a look at. Where am I pulling up short? Where am I holding myself back? Where am I engaging in comfortable living instead of challenging living? Am I looking at the problems that come my way as opportunities? I love that saying. The optimist sees opportunity in every difficulty. The pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. Yeah, but how can we? This isn't going to work, blah, blah, blah. No. We're not going there. We're letting go of that energy. Am I honoring myself, living true to myself, and giving my values the attention they deserve? And I know that a bunch of us, myself included, will come up with the yeah buts. Yeah, but right now I'm taking care of my dad, and I have this difficult dog, and blah, blah, blah. Getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Absolutely. Those can be my excuses. Or I can go, okay, given those circumstances, how can I knock it out of the park anyway? All right? There's opportunity in every difficulty. All right? So I would love to hear some comments, more comments. Let's get some conversation going with all of us. There's 14 of us on here right now, 15 including me. Get some conversation going amongst us. Let's be each other's running buddies. Let's be our practical rebel tribe, all right? How are we going to be practical and bust ourselves out of complacency? Move ourselves forward. What's one little step forward that you could take? Last night they had us do 3 different steps forward, and it was incredibly powerful. So you can even do this. You stand there. You think of something you want to step into. Let's say it's, I'm moving from being very timid to I'm moving to speaking my truth a little more. Play that out in your head. Put your shoulders back. Feel what that feels like. Create some scenarios in your head. I'm speaking my truth. And then literally step forward into it. There. I have now accomplished that. I am in speaking my truth. All right? So that's our card for today. Pretty wild, hey? I just think it's awesome. So, and again, the cards just keep reflecting where we're at, what we need to be taking a peek at, etc. So, original wakefulness. That's our card for today. Have an awesome day. I know I will. I know Cindy will. They're going to have us going earlier today. And I'm sure it will be quite the long day. Yes, ta-ta for now. Have an awesome day. See you again tomorrow. Remember, you are capable of far more than you think you are, including being aware of your awareness. Bye-bye.